There are three primary financial elements that go into the project cost or an investment range of a franchise endeavor. The first one is something called a franchise fee. This is a one-time upfront payment that is you paying for rights to do business as this franchise in the agreed upon territories. Think of this like a down payment for a house. You are paying for rights to be in the franchise system as a franchisee. The second is working capital. And that's again what you infuse in the business on the front end as you get started in this business, and that's the capital that you need to run the business even if you were doing it on your own. So you might be running a pool cleaning business. The working capital that you would need is the chlorine, the truck, the equipment. If you're running a brick and mortar, then there's equipment that goes into play there. There's a lease, there's the build out cost and construction that can make that investment range inflate a little bit from there. And then the third piece of a franchise investment are the ongoing fees and the ongoing royalties, the training, the additional value that you get for being a part of this franchise system. Those royalties are typically a percentage off your top line revenue that goes to support mechanisms like marketing, search engine optimization, or just having access to the brand that ultimately is going to drive value for you as a franchisee. One of the most common ways that we see franchise buyers finance their franchise acquisitions is through SBA lending or Small Business Administration lending. And this is a government-backed lending program that the federal government utilizes to stimulate small business growth around the country. And what this lending program employs is a 20% cash infusion or a 20% down payment that a franchisee puts into the business, and then over a 10-year term, they finance the other 80% through this SBA loan. And so if you're buying a house and you qualify for a $300,000 mortgage, you're not paying all $300,000 of that house cost up front. There's going to be a down payment and you finance the rest throughout the term of that loan. Very similar to an SBA loan where if there's a total project cost of maybe $500,000, you're not paying for that whole $500,000 up front. There's a cash infusion element and then a financing element that goes with the rest of the project. Another way that folks fund their franchise ventures is through a Rollover for Business Startups program or a ROBS program, ROBS. Horrible acronym, I realize that, but actually a pretty neat program that's been around for about 40 years that is a really good fit for folks who don't have the appetite to take on a loan and have a lot of their portfolio tied up in retirement dollars. This is a tax-deferred, penalty-free mechanism that you can, instead of investing your retirement dollars in the S&P 500 and Apple, Microsoft, whatever the case might be, you roll those dollars into your corporation and invest those dollars in stock in your company as a franchisee. And that's how you have your startup money. It's not for everybody, but it is a mechanism for folks who, again, don't have that appetite for an SBA loan or maybe don't have the ability to write a big check to self-fund. It's the ability to take a resource that you typically can't touch for a number of decades and bring it to real time and start making income on it today. As you start thinking about how you might want to fund your franchise venture, going back to the real estate agent model here, when you're working with a realtor, one of the first things they're going to do is get in front of a lender to help you get pre-approved for a certain amount of a price tag on a house. We want to do something very similar and help you get pre-approved for a certain project cost in the franchise world. And so we'd encourage you to reach out to us. There's plenty of funding partners, a few in particular that we work with that we'd love to help you get in front of so that you can start to understand what your investment range that's a good fit for you and your family as you explore the franchise world. Feel free to schedule a conversation in my calendar link, or if you'd like, you can shoot me a text or give me a call at 513-787-2170.